Hi everyone, welcome back to Hope and Coffee, where today we have a little chunky unicorn mug who has got one of my favorite kinds of coffee. It's Verona. I know a lot of people out there are not like Starbucks fans. However, I used to be a barista like many moons ago. I still know an individual who is a coffee roaster on the Michigan Avenue or on Michigan Avenue in their roastery there. So shout out to him, who's probably still doing an excellent job. He's the coolest person I've ever known. But anyway, so it is keeping me hydrated. Well, I don't know. Does coffee really keep you hydrated if it's made with water, but it's supposed to be dehydrating? I don't know. But we are drinking copious amounts of it today. I do have some water over here if I really need it. And we are talking about mental health today. And why are we talking about mental health? Is because I have had a really bad month. It has been very tough. And I wanted to come to you all today to check in with you guys and see how you all have been doing, and to kind of talk a little bit about what I've been trying to do in order to help myself feel better. It is not easy when you have MDD, or what they call major depressive disorder, or that's what it's clinical depression is what it is. Now, for me, what it feels like is kind of like tides. Sometimes it goes out, and you kind of don't notice that it's all the way out until you kind of feel that sense of reprieve. And sometimes when the tide comes in, you maybe didn't even notice it was coming in until you kind of feel underwater. And so for this particular month, I've kind of felt underwater. I have been working with a psychologist here in Huntsville who is working to try to figure out a good medication for me, and that has been beneficial. But I've also been trying to do just my own personal self-care and self-introspection to try to also make things feel less heavy. So I want to let you guys know that if you guys suffer with anything like this, that you are not alone, and that you do not have to suffer through it alone, that there are resources out there that hopefully you are able to utilize in some ways that are out there. So for me, now not all of it is genetic, but I do know that there are some mental health things that run in my family. And I acknowledge it, but I also own that I just simply don't always have the appropriate coping skills to work through some things. Now, I allow myself to sit with things and work through them. So for especially these past 5 days, I have kind of allowed myself to not wallow and to not dwell, but to actually work through the emotions that I've been working through, trying to identify what they are, trying to figure out what the source is, and to try to figure out how I can move forward from them, to not only figure out why do I feel this way, but to also figure out the next step to move forward from that. Now, one of the triggering moments for me was I had what I thought was a very good friend, someone who I thought was valued me as a person in their life, decide to completely cut ties with me for no explanation, no reason whatsoever. They told me at least a few months ago that they just needed some time, that it was nothing that I had done, that they were going through something. And when I tried reaching out again to just check on them to see if we could go grab some food, they just cut me off completely. They just said, you know what, I'm not going to do this, goodbye. And so that really left me feeling I guess incomplete in a lot of ways. And I feel as though that's happened quite a few times for me in my life. So it's a triggering moment for me. Um, so I have to take that moment and then process what I feel and figure out what I take forward from it and understand that it wasn't me, but also how do I separate that from feeling like it wasn't me? Because, of course, my mind tries to play the game of, well, you're the me being the, I guess, the common denominator in the situation each time it's happened. However, um, then another part of me tries to say that I should have seen this coming, I should have seen the signs, and then also tries to play a guilt trip with me as well, telling me I should have known better. So it's all these different feelings and emotions. Now, some people out there may not understand feeling all of these things. And sadly, I'm a very empathetic person, and maybe it's not sad, but I go through all these things because I feel things very heavily. I am very emotionally connected to just about everything. I will pack bond with just about anything that has a cute little face. I will give things names, and it's just me almost emotionally connecting to just about anything. So when people I value do that to me, I blame myself and make myself more of the martyr, trying not to put the blame on them, trying to give them the pass and trying to figure out what I've done wrong. So that is something that I am working on, not only with my therapist, my psychologist, but also with myself and trying to work through these emotions. Again, I want to put it out there that these are just my opinions and thoughts. I am not a doctor in any way. I am simply a person who goes through these things. But I want to make it very, very clear that if you are or have gone through any of these things, that you are not alone. Um, I understand that some people will process things differently, and for me, I know sometimes I will run away and I will shut down. Um, I have really felt so hard, especially during this past week of going through this. Um, I've wanted to reach out to that person. I've wanted to reach out people to connected to that person and just try to figure out a way to get some sort of closure, and I just don't think I'm going to be able to. I think what that person did was completely wrong. I think it was disrespectful, and I think it was very heartless in a lot of different ways, because the way they used to speak to me is so far from the way that they changed. So going back to December, when they kind of had that initial like, hey, I need some time to work through some stuff, it was about a 2-week period of time where everything seemed to be really good in our friendship, to, hey, I need space. And I was like, okay, fine, you need some space. Do you want to talk? And I tried to be there for them. I tried to just stay a friend, to be present if they needed someone. And I don't know if I became too much. Again, here I am blaming myself, thinking I've done something, but that's kind of what I do. And yes, here on my desk right here in front of me, I have a book that I'm about to start reading. It's called Love Me, Don't Leave Me. And my therapist, or a previous therapist, she recommended that to me, so I think I'm going to start working through that next, as well as a workbook that I have that I need to start working through as well to help process a couple other things. But my mental wellness and health has been a point that I have been actively working on this month. It's been very hard, and I can't say I'm doing great, but I am actively trying. So I just wanted to reach out to say that I hope you all have someone you can turn to. I hope you know if you need someone to turn to, especially like if you need an unbiased person, even if I don't know you, I do have an email that you can just send an email to if you need just any sort of support. There are helplines, there are therapists, there are resources. I don't know if I can find those for you, especially for whatever areas you may be in, but I can work on it. I can try to Google some places that I don't know, but I hope you have the support you need to work through what you need to work through. And until next time, I hope to see you on the next page. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and we will carry on the conversation with a cup of coffee, and I will see you on the next page. Have a great one. Bye.